Hi there, dive buddies, and welcome back to Certified Scuba, where we talk all things scuba all the time. Last week we had a quick video about the Garmin Descent Mk2i watch upon its release and going over some of the important features. There's been a lot of buzz in the watch, so we figured we'd go into some more in-depth detail today with an official unboxing. First thoughts about the watch in comparison to the Mark 1. There will be a third video in the next few weeks as I want to take some time to put the watch through its daily paces, run the battery down a few times, and get some dives on it, hopefully, and at the same time get my hands on the transmitter, which for right now is only available for pre-order in North America. Current searches that I've had over the past couple of days show the T1 transmitter only being available right now in the Asia Pacific region with an anticipated release date in North America somewhere between the 14th and 30th of November. Now, before we get into the video itself, I'd like to clarify some misinformation that I had regarding the watches. As I stated, the Mk2i came already with a transmitter at the $14.99 price tag, which it does not. You'll still need to purchase the transmitter separately for $3.99. The standard Mk2 for $12.99 has no capability of air integration in comparison with the 2i. With the base model, you're essentially getting the refreshed Mk1 that uses a Phoenix 6 architecture rather than the 5 and an overall larger screen. So that being said, while it's a fine watch and some fantastic additions for the everyday person, I'd say the lack of integration capabilities in the standard model make it a no-go for me and the serious diver in comparison to the 2i. For the rest of this impression video and future videos, we'll be focusing on the 2i and everything that we talk about. Alright, with that said, let's dig into the box and take a look at the Garmin Descent Mk2i. Here's the watch in the box right now. Let's open it on up. It's got a lot of the standard Garmin boxing that you'd have on the normal watch, and a lot of the information on the back as well right there. So let's go ahead and take this bad boy out. It's a pretty nice watch, got its little tape on the front right there. Immediately, right out of the gate, first impression is it's solid. It feels a little nicer. They have the, what they call the DLC, or the diamond-like carbon titanium base that they're using for the watch itself. It definitely feels nice. The buttons have a little more spring in them, despite the fact that they're now the capacitive style buttons. In the box as well, we also will have the standard Garmin goodies and essentials in there. So when we open this up, we will have at first the charging cable, which is much different than the Mk1 charging cable. This one is a more solid contact with it actually just sitting on the watch itself, as you can see right there. In comparison with the Mk1 that had its own charging cradle. I actually went online and got my own where you had to press it in to get it there. And then finally you have the extension watch strap right here for larger wetsuits and dry suits as well. And then obviously standard manuals. And then finally the feature that everyone loves to do when it comes to these is just taking that tape off right there. It's really good feeling. I know everybody likes it. Okay, with that being said, let's take a comparison between the Mk1 and the Mk2i side by side, run through some of the physical differences and differences between firmware when it comes to what Garmin has brought us. Here are some of the physical specs between the two, as the Mk1 has either a stainless steel or titanium bezel. The stainless is shown here. The Mk2 uses a diamond-like carbon-coated titanium, or DLC. Physical size is not much different, with an extra millimeter given to width and height on the Mk2, but Garmin managed to increase the size from 1.2 to 1.4 on the Mk2 on the actual screen display itself, giving it just over a third of a larger screen and a few more pixels crammed in there as well. The Mk2 checks in at 99.6 grams in comparison with the 101 grams for the Mk1 with silicone bands, so slightly lighter in comparison. In terms of battery life, there are nice improvements with the Mk2 over the one with the watch and dive mode, set to last approximately 100 hours now versus the 40 hours in comparison to the Mk1. When using the T1 transmitter though, this goes to 32 hours, still plenty for almost any dive trip that you take, and the T1 transmitter itself also having about 100 hours of life on that. In smartwatch mode, the Mk2 is set to last 16 days in comparison with the 10 days of that of the Mk1. When using the GPS and music at the same time, it's estimated to give about 15 hours of continuous use. One other nice feature in the Mk2i is the battery saver modes that are now included that allow you to shut off specific features that can allow you up to 50 days of battery in the most extreme of circumstances. There's 32 gigs of onboard storage with the Mk2, while only half of that with the Mk1. But the big addition regarding this is the music player and Bluetooth connectivity. 32 gigs is estimated to give you about 2,000 songs to throw on the watch as well. As I mentioned in our previous video, they have now gone to capacitive touch buttons on the Mk2, relying less on hard physical button presses to do any activities on the watch and using less O-rings overall. Now it's time to break down some of the Mk2 watch dive specifics. Here you can plan dives, set up your gas mixtures, PO2, water types, how conservative do you want to be on your dives, how long do you want your safety stop to be, if you'd like a delay in the dive timer to end in case you're teaching classes and you have to surface regularly or in the pool or in open water, setting the ability to double tap the screen to move to the next piece of data information on the watch, and if you'd like, a deco lockout for no decompression diving. There is also the ability to set up multi-gas dives and closed circuit rebreather with 2 PO2 set points and open circuit backups, but I'll be honest, in my 20 years, I've never used a rebreather or done anything past standard nitrox, so I'll only just mention these capabilities for greater technical diving with the Mk2, as I'm a little out of my depth with that. There is also a gauge mode as well as free diving modes like apnea and apnea hunt. Setting your gas mixture is extremely easy, and planning a dive through the watch if you're just looking to calculate your no decompression limits along with your gas mixtures, estimated bottom time and depth is extremely easy as well. Adding repetitive dives through this is also a very simple process. You can set up deco plans if you choose to be more advanced in your planning profiles as well. Another feature that the Garmin Descents all have is the ability to use quick connect straps from Garmin in the 26mm form. Honestly, I find this to be one of the underrated features of the Garmin smartwatches, and when it comes to divers, it's really a nice benefit. The Mk1 and Mk2 both include the extra long strap for thick wetsuits and dry suits that make preparing your watch for conditions a 2-second process. My extra strap I keep tucked away in my dive flag because I want it to be easy to get out. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that some of these features that we'll be touching on won't be specifically diver related, as I think it's really important to talk about all the goodies that Garmin has crammed into the Mk2 watch, as I have called it in the last video, the one watch to rule them all. And honestly, I truly believe that. Just over a year ago, in purchasing my first Garmin watch, I gave the Mk1 a very hard look, but at the time a lack of air integration and a lack of onboard storage for music in particular made it a no-go for me. With the refresh, they remedied both of these pieces with the Mk2i and have done it in a more encompassing package for the Mk1. Now, before the comments start flowing about divers don't need music and this is a dive watch, now let's keep in mind that this watch is designed to be a true 24/7 all-activity watch for divers and non-divers alike. I like to run. I like to run long distances. I like to run for hours sometimes. I like to have music and podcasts at the ready and be able to listen to all of this without being tethered to my phone. The Mk1 didn't allow that. The Mk2 does, and also allows it through Bluetooth connectivity, allowing for a truly unencumbered wireless experience. Not only that, but it's all about promoting an all-around healthy lifestyle. After all, the best divers are fit divers, right? The Mk2 allows us to gather much more data and give us suggestions, just as the Fenix 6 or Forerunner 945 do, and also add the pulse oximeter that was missing from the Mk1. This will allow people to view their oxygen saturation when you choose to, or check it at a set schedule either hourly or nightly while you sleep, allowing more accurate data and details as to how you may have slept and why you might have slept poorly. As far as the activities in the ecosystem within the Mk2, it shares many with its sister watches, including running, treadmill, general cardio, triathlons, heart rate variability, hiking, navigation, biking, swimming, indoor track, as well as the ability to create your own activities. Widgets give us a glance to the specifics for the day and the week that are diving related and non-diving related. These include your logbook, which can store up to 200 dives, surface intervals, sunrise and sunset details, heart rate tracker, training status, which lets you know based off of the Garmin algorithms how hard you've worked over the past week, and gives you a grade numerically, as well as simply saying, okay, you're peaking, you're detraining, this isn't very productive, you're maintaining your cardio load right now, good job. Here's my suggestion with what you should do this week as well. Also included are VO2 max calculations and race predictions based off of your previous trainings. Other features include standard pedometer, altimeter, barometer, weather widget, and a lot more. There are smartwatch features that you can use just as you would with other smartwatches like an Apple Watch or a watch from Samsung, but honestly, I keep those notifications disconnected just for the fact that I like to keep some aspects of my life separate. The music experience is simple as you connect your watch via USB, download the Garmin Express app, and drag and drop what you would choose for the true untethered wireless experience. You can also connect music apps such as Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, and many more. This way you can add your own personalized playlist if you have one of these services. Sorry YouTube Music and Apple Music, there's no support for you yet. The Express program itself is also useful for firmware updates and map additions, so it's good to use it once in a while to ensure that you're up to date as you can be. On that note, we'll take a quick dive into the apps associated with Garmin otherwise, as there are a couple of important ones that all should have downloaded and one specifically for divers. If this is your first time owning a Garmin watch, you'll want to ensure that you have the Garmin Connect app, as it's essentially your hub for all things related to your watch. This is where you can view all of your data that has been collected from your watch, either on your phone or through the Connect webpage. It's fantastic, as it allows you to view trends and what you've done over time and spits it out all in palatable, easy to read information. What was today like? What about past 24 hours? 4 weeks, 12 weeks, year-to-date details, all pieces like this. All giving you fantastic details and insight to the information that Garmin can provide you. Next up for Garmin apps will be the Garmin Connect IQ app. This is essentially the Garmin ecosystem app store, allowing you to add and customize varied widgets that developers create in case you think that Garmin is missing something in the stock watch itself. Most importantly in the Connect IQ store is the ability to add and change watch faces. There are hundreds of watch faces to choose from and allow you to change how Garmin looks and the information that can be displayed on the watch face itself. While there are a lot of watch faces out there, my favorite by far has been Crystal. Both my Forerunner 945 and Mk2i have it installed, and honestly, since stumbling upon this watch face, I haven't bothered to look elsewhere as the data screens and color customizability make it versatile yet clean. Steering back into the diving ecosystem, since I know that's why many of you are here, the Garmin Dive app, which finally is out of beta, is a must for anybody who's using it truly as a dive watch. It's exactly what it says it is. It logs your dives for you and gives you the details associated with it. Depth, bottom time, temperatures, gas mixtures, dive profiles, surface intervals, CNS load, nitrogen load, water type, elevation, and more, some of the details it provides. One of the nice features about the Dive app is the ability to geolocate where you start and have ended your dive, and a historical view of your dives on a world map. It's a nice fun way to reminisce about the dives. The app itself isn't something where you can plan out dives, as that is left to the watch itself, but I can imagine Garmin over time will add some more features to the Garmin Dive app, as I've seen many changes in it throughout the past year over the beta. The eco space otherwise is much more expansive from Garmin outside of these apps and includes things along the lines of like golf, pilots, captains, and more. And with that, we're running at the idea here that Garmin is trying to truly be that one watch that rules them all in your life. So there is a quick overview of the Garmin Descent watch, as there will be a second update in the next few weeks once I have put the watch through its paces, drained its battery a few times, and logged some dives with the watch and hopefully the transmitter, which obviously is yet to be released. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel and comment below with your thoughts on the watch and anything you'd like to see in the future. With that being said, we'll see you all next time on the dive boat there, buddies.